Tifa 2. Yo. Yo.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm doing very fine. What about you?
I'm pretty good.
Yay.
So
I'm going on Visor. I already registered on the website.
All right, nice. What do you think of the VODs so far, if you have been watching?
I think they're pretty decent. I mean, the thing is that I don't really play much tank, right? So it's more of a like, oh, it's good to know about this, but it's not something that I'm gonna use too much, I guess. So yeah.
So
it's been pretty helpful.
Yeah, tell us about your general game plan in this VOD and like what the goal was and role and so on.
All right, so in this game, like I'm playing with pretty much random people apart from one person that's actually a friend of mine. He's Vade, like right at the end there. We went on a looking for group. You can even tell like on the top left corner, like my ping is a little bit bad because I'm actually Brazilian, right? I was playing on the North American server, so my connection was a little bit bad. It sort of stabilizes at 190 ms, and generally I just play Sombra, I guess. At the end, I feel like I'm not really doing much, and then I just decide to switch to Pharah, and I start getting a few more. Like I feel like I start doing a little bit more, right? I feel like I'm actually getting stuff done a little bit, but I still like when I rewatched the VOD, I felt like I did so many mistakes in this particular video. So yeah.
When you say it doesn't feel like you're doing much, is it that you're not getting the kills, or that the EMP doesn't hit anything, or hack doesn't hit anything?
Well, it's more that I feel like I'm not really hacking the right people, right? Also, I feel like my positioning in general is one of the biggest problems that I have in the game. Like after this game, I started thinking a little bit about my positioning, and I made a little bit more of an effort to stay on the high ground on the following matches, and I feel like I achieved much more just by doing that one simple thing. So yeah. It's that pretty much.
Okay, we can let it play it. I'm gonna keep in mind MS, like playing on 200 ping. It's kinda painful. Like so, I guess playing Sombra is maybe kinda not the right thing. Being on Pharah and Hanzo, it's a bit easier because I think Hitscan is the one that suffers the most from high ping.
All right. Also, on the chat there, we're talking about we played a previous game that we pretty much ran against goats, and the team just didn't know what to do. Like we didn't know what to do against goats, and we just accepted our loss there. It was pretty sad, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it happens. It happens. It's all cool, man. I have some games like that myself.
Yeah, goats is tough to deal with.
Okay, so what's usually the goal right now as Sombra? You want to get some charge or hack?
You see, what I was trying to do here in particular was just trying to scout to see what exactly they were gonna do. Probably the thing that I do the most, at least when I play Sombra, is just try and hack the main tanks, right? Just try and get EMP quickly, like just hit the tanks because they have a large hitbox, right? And it's easier. So yeah. First flanking behind. Actually, they're him and Winston are flanking behind.
All of them are.
I feel like you could when everyone exits here, you could go for the Mercy. Since you have your translocator up, you can try and one clip the Mercy, try to harass someone, and for example, you can hack Genji on point and shoot him. And that's gonna delay point fully because everyone seems to go right side.
Winston are flanking behind. Yeah, you're right. Maybe I should have.
You can also tell the team everyone going bridge, or maybe not bridge, but everyone flanking. And what they can do then is just reposition. They just go to your location basically, and you switch places. And then the enemies, they don't get any value and they end up using 1 minute to just run.
Jesus. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll just swap around.
And you want to be behind them instead of in front of them, because you might take some damage for free, or you might not be able to kill squishes and so on. So I think if you were on running behind Genji or Mercy, you wouldn't have to deal with the bubble and all that, because hacking Winston after he has used jump and bubble is inefficient, and once he has placed bubble, you have to step in or shoot at something else. And there's a matrix here coming as well.
Winston is hacked. Winston is low. Winston is super low.
He was that a mech, just about? Is that a mech?
Yeah.
I need healing so bad now.
I was trying to hack the Moira before she faded, but it didn't work.
Can't read the death.
They have
So
a
we
soldier
could get
an easy for the pick. Pharah now. They switched off
trash.
of Reaper. They're now on Soldier. I feel like I could have gotten this skill if I had a little bit better aim, but...
Yeah, I don't think you have to go for the hack here, because all Soldier will do is... for example, he's gonna aim at you, he's gonna fire rocket. Actually, it's a good hack. Because he can one-shot you. Yeah, it's fine.
Because of his health thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when he places it down, then it pretty much, for me, becomes impossible to kill him.
Yeah.
Just one.
You want to set up your translocator somewhere and then keep harassing the backline and just be annoying. And you want to do that until you have EMP, basically.
Yeah, soldier. I blow up. One.
Nice.
Someone is targeting me.
Everyone's targeting me.
Watch out for Blade.
Got that Mercy.
Diva's hacked.
Okay, so you can place your translocator right here or in the corner. Here. Here. Just because it's very easy to just come back, and enemies are not looking like they flank all the time. And when you walk forward here, you want to keep shooting instead of looking for hacks, because you might not get the right hack, and it's also very close to a corner, and you're very close to EMP as well. So if you die on payload right here, you will have another fight before point or before the cap, and that way you can just use EMP and turn the fight. I mean.
Watch out for Blade. Alright, I see.
Got that Mercy.
Diva's hacked. Yeah, I feel like I shouldn't have been hacking at this moment.
You could go for a hack on Genji, so he doesn't get resets. That's an alternative.
And then I get staggered right here. That was pretty bad.
Diva has self-destruct.
You just missed. Yeah, you just missed the mega. So I did you try to get the mega as well?
Yeah, I was trying, but then I sort of freaked out a little bit, and yeah.
Oh, it happens. Like you're gonna get better at dealing with like the not stress, but like the stress from people chasing you and so on. It's very similar to like when you play Tracer and you have like 10 HP and no blinks and no recall, and you're trying to escape, and it feels like something is gonna hit you in the back. And the more you play, the more you get used to it.
Nice, get Mercy. Mercy's low.
Or the more times it happens, the more you get used to it.
I'm real low from this Genji.
Genji's hacked here by the Mega to the right. And somebody...
Try to keep your aim still and move with your keyboard, or like with A and D. So that way you don't have to... Because if we go back here...
Genji's hacked here by the Mega to the right.
You seem to like move at the same time you're moving the aim, so it makes it a lot harder for yourself to track. And what's your sensitivity at, for an example?
It's pretty low. I don't remember right now from the top of my head, but I can check.
Okay. So try and compensate less with the mouse and use more keyboards once you have like if he starts moving like crazy, of course, like what's it called? If he moves to the sides, like if he strafes like really far, then of course you have to move as well with the aim. But right now you're trying to track at the same time with the keyboards, and just turn down the tracking with your hand, so it's you track like less and keep moving like you do with keyboard, and you're probably gonna hit the shots a bit more consistently.
Right? Can somebody help me here?
I'm coming.
There you go.
Okay, got him.
And a good way to practice that is Lucio bots with speed on all the time in custom games, because they move super fast.
I'll do that then. I have EMP for next fight. EMP barrage, maybe?
Sure.
Right. Oh, Soldier is on the top right here. Watch out, Farah. Watch out, Farah.
You can go and kill the baby D.Va now as well. You should be moving out and looking for her, so that you can hack her or kill her. And that way
that's
she
one
can.
thing that I really struggle with in general is just that my first thought when I see a D.Va bomb is just hide. I don't really really go after the D.Va.
How long have you been playing Sombra?
For like 50 hours, I think, at this point.
Oh, okay.
That's fine, don't worry.
So you have EMP right now? Let's see.
That's fine, don't worry.
You have EMP and Barrage. And would you want to wait for Grav, or do you want to use it with Barrage?
Well, the original idea here was to use it with Barrage, but then after this, I sort of end up getting staggered again, and it's bad. And yeah, after all, I hardly ever really use the EMP in this situation in particular. What happens is that Zarya and Pharah just end up comboing their ults instead.
Right now you can use the EMP, or as soon as you hear the Genji use his blade, the sound, you press Q, but you should be standing out here as well. Like, not out here, but just outside, so that you don't cut off your EMP due to the doorways.
Alright.
So if you EMP right now, he might be able to get a shift in. I'm not sure, like, it depends on how quick it is, but he won't be able to shift afterwards if he get the kill. And Soldier can't use his rockets, D.Va can't matrix, Moira can't heal and all that.
Oh boy, they just used two ults.
Oh, not Moira. Yeah, Moira, I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, just back. And then I make a mistake right here. I end up by accident, like, taking myself off of stealth, and that's how I get staggered.
Oh yeah.
Get into position.
Yeah, that's something you'll... I don't think that's like a repeating mistake.
No, it was just that one time that this happened.
So this is a perfect moment to use EMP. And you have to be quicker, basically. You just go for it, basically, and you say, I'm gonna EMP.
You're gonna EMP this in 3?
This is way too late, basically, because now you have gotten a shatter, and you don't have to use the EMP anymore.
Yeah, and then I just say never mind because Reinhardt shattered.
Yeah.
Actually. Because Reinhardt just shattered.
I think try to be more in charge of your like EMP when you want to use it for play. So like you have to be more determined that the play is gonna happen. So basically, in your head, you say, this is gonna happen right now, or you don't say it, but you think that it's gonna happen, and then you call it, and then you press Q. That way you don't have to count down, but you can say to the team while you're walking up. So the time you would decide to make the EMP is right here, for example, or not here, but right now when you're walking up, you start thinking about how you're gonna use the EMP, if you should use it. And let's say that you decide to use EMP right now. You say, I'm gonna EMP, and then you count down faster. So 3, 2, 1, or 3, 2, 1. Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
Hmm.
I feel like the problem that I had on this game was also, I mean, there's plenty, but one of them is the fact that I held onto my EMP for way too long. Like, in all of this time, I could have gotten already a second EMP.
Yeah,
And
even a third one, I think.
yeah, even a third one, to be honest. And yeah, I had onto it for too long. I feel like in a way I was trying to do like I was really trying to do a big play here, and then I just like it just wasn't working out, and I just kept holding on to it, and yeah. Like right there, I could have used the 2 just to cancel the Moira ults right there.
McCree is low.
So basically, you're looking for too much value all the time.
Yeah,
Nice.
pretty much.
Okay.
Got him.
He's still behind.
Did you say that you play any other hero during this one?
Yeah, I put
Pharah
Pharah.
as well. Do you want me to focus mostly on the Sombra or the Pharah?
Yeah, mostly the Sombra because the Pharah is more of a like, oh, if we need to, then I can switch to that, I guess.
Okay.
Because my mains are actually technically Lucio and Sombra, which are pretty different heroes, I guess, but I can play other heroes as well if it's needed.
A good deal on that.
Right here, you would have wanted. No, actually, you don't want to use EMP right now.
But I did.
Yeah, I was looking here, like, before I looked at the kill feed, I saw Grav, and then I saw that 3 people are dead, and then, yeah, no need for EMP.
I was thinking of the EMP because of Genji Blade, pretty much. And then I just sort of tunnel vision into it, which was bad, I think. Because we ended up killing the Genji regardless.
It sounds like you already know what went wrong, and in the moment it's just maybe it's like you're overthinking, like in the moment. And like I guess what I usually feel is like if I'm too tense, or if like if I'm not playing relaxed, I end up like focusing too much on something.
Yeah. This issue with the EMP isn't really recurrent though. I feel like it was just this particular game. Most of the time I use like quite a few EMPs in my games. It's just that in this particular game, for whatever reason, I feel like this happened.
So right here, you see that there's enemies right here as well. And the position you're taking right now is, it's fine, but you're turning your back to the McCree or to whoever might come. And that's really risky since they can just flash and headshot. So instead you could be on this side and just use line of sight for McCree and still shoot and hack Winston.
Winston is hacked.
So yeah, they could easily kill you if they just hit the shots.
He does not have memory range.
The way you step back later, that's exactly how you should do it. And then you can step to the right here behind the crates and just sandwich, basically, because your team is gonna come from the same angle you're coming from right now. So you don't have to push the exact same angle since you're in the front. And if you just go to the right, you're gonna stop a lot of damage coming in.
Oh my god, that was awful.
Genji's right next to you guys.
I feel like I contributed to nothing in this fight right here.
Yeah, you end up trying to hack a bit too much, and it's not necessary.
Genji is hacked.
And then this is when Pharah and Zarya decide to combo their ult.
So like, in the fight you still contribute to stuff because like the enemies are missing the shots and you end up getting a ton of damage in. Let's see. You shoot the D.Va, you know, it's still some damage, it's not no damage. And then of course when you keep hacking and missing the hack and all that, of course it's a bit of downtime. So I think the biggest issue you have on Sombra is trying to hack, or not trying to hack, but trying to get too much value when all you need is like you know, something simple like shooting or waiting with a hack until it's the right moment. Like usually you want to hack Reinhardt, you want to hack D.Va. You don't really need to hack Genji unless he's blading and he's about to get resets. Like when there's a ton of squishes around you. And yeah, mainly look to hack tanks. You don't really need to hack the supports, because you can one-clip the supports. Or not one-clip, but you can shoot them and they're gonna use nade on themselves or escape and all that. It's mostly tanks because of shield, matrix, grav, shatter, these things that are like big combo pieces.
I think one thing as well, just real quick.
Yeah.
In this particular game as well, I decided to lower my hack sensitivity a bit, because I felt like in a few previous games when I was trying to, like, for example, hack a Reinhardt that was really grouped up with a bunch of people, I missed the hack on somebody else. And so I tried to lower my hack sensitivity a little bit, but then I feel like it actually became a problem. Because, like, for example, in this whole situation, I feel like before on my previous hack sensitivity, I could have hacked them. But in this situation, I didn't.
I think it's only temporary. It's the same as changing your sensitivity as on your aim. And at first it's gonna be a bit worse, or it might be better. But in the end, like, the sensitivity, I think the lower you have it, the better it is, because you want to be as precise as possible. And then, for example, if you don't have, like, let's see, I'm not sure when high sensitivity is useful, but for myself I use the lowest possible, because I just practice it, like, if I miss it, because that's essentially, it's like training aim, sort of. Like, I'm pretty bad on McCree because I can't headshot, and then if I lower the sense, I won't, like, shake my aim as much, and I won't miss as many shots. But then if I try and flick, it's gonna require more power, and I probably don't know how much power I'm gonna put into the flick, and I end up missing. And it's sort of the same way, like, at some point you're gonna get used to it if you just do it enough times. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
with some, like, practice, it's gonna come. And it's not the exact same, it's a bit harsher, since you're actually narrowing down the range for, like, how, not range, but, like, yeah, you know what I mean, for the hack, like, when it's detected. And also your EMPs, you want to use them a bit more often. It doesn't matter if you don't get much value. Try to set up a combo, or, like, disable Ryan shields, disable Winston leap or bubble. You can interrupt Moira beam and all that. You told me all these things, or not all, but you told me a ton of things you can use EMP for. So I think you already know how to use the EMP, and you just need to go more with the flow, if that makes sense. Trust your gut and so on.
Yeah, it's just that one problem that I have sort of when I'm playing competitive is that, like, I go into a game thinking, okay, I'm gonna do this, this, and this, but then when I actually get into the game, I just sort of start getting on, like, an autopilot, and then I start doing mistakes like this pretty much. When, like, looking back, I realize, like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done this, or maybe I should have done this differently. But I just go on autopilot, and then I just forget to do this stuff, and it's pretty bad.
Try to like, so what's the, like, mindset when you start queuing up? Is it like, do you do anything special? I mean, like, do you try to focus with some good music, or you just queue up and wait until the queue pops?
Well, before I start, like, queuing, I just go on the practice range real quick just to warm up my aim, just see if I can get it a little bit better, and then I just queue up or look for a group. Generally, I look for a group because personally I prefer it more, because at least people are not screaming at me for picking Sombra.
Okay.
Like, at least on looking for a group, I have more of a guarantee that this is not gonna happen. And yeah, So I just look for a group, and then if I find one that has a flex slot, because I mean I can play Lucio and Sombra, so I just look for a group that has instead of a DPS role, I pick a flex role.
Okay.
And then I just wait until the group is full and we queue up pretty much.
I think what you can do to like try and help get out of the autopilot is like try to speak your actions. Like for example, I'm gonna flank, or I'm gonna chase, or like, you know, the Mercy I mentioned in at the start of the map. You can decide to go for her and say nothing. You know, that's usually not something you need to say. But now in the start, you just start getting out of the autopilot, because you want to become more conscious of what you're doing, right? Or like have you want to have more like power to decide of what you're gonna do, and not like let the automated part of you do too much. So what you can do is just say what you're gonna do. Say like I have EMP, and then you can even ask the team like, how do you want to use EMP, and then they can help you come up with some ideas. Maybe they don't have any idea, and then you just try to stay active with talking, and keep focusing on. You don't have to talk all the time. Just focus on what your goal right now is, and then for bigger goals like, how am I gonna use EMP? Are we gonna grab or something, or do you want me to interrupt something like beat, remove beat, or if you should switch and all that, you know, all these things. And once you stop speaking, like when you start focusing more on aim and all that, then you become more autopilot. Because I think you focus a bit more on hitting hacks or hitting your shots too much, and you sort of forget the like planning a part of the fights.
All right. Yeah.
But you do a great job, like understanding what your mistakes are, and I think do you usually watch your own VODs?
No, I actually don't really. Most of the time what I do is just like at the end of the game, like after the match is done, I just like try and reflect back on what I did, but obviously it doesn't really help too much, because I feel like when seeing a VOD, I can actually make more of a like, instead of making an educated guess, I can have a more precise response on what I should be doing, I guess. So I may try and recording VODs more often.
Yeah, I would recommend like record the VOD, and then after a match look through the VOD for at like 1.5 speed or 2.0 speed, just to get the like general idea. 1.5 is usually what I do, otherwise it's too fast. And then you can press rank to queue up meanwhile, and you sort of use the time in queue efficiently. And also, to me it sounds like if you just watch your own VODs a bit more, you would be more confident in, you know, how to use your EMP. And also, I don't think you would feel as weak in game, or like as if you don't bring any value, because there's a ton of value, but you might just be like too zoned in, and you miss sort of outside of the sight you have, or the scope. It's like when you scope in with Ana, and there's like flankers outside of the black thing when you scope in. Does it feel like you got any help with the Sombra? Like in a good way, or like how do you say it? Does it feel like when you go into the next game that you have some idea of how to change your gameplay as Sombra?
No, I don't really do that, I guess.
So what's a question mark right now for you? Or like what's feeling like you don't know?
Oh no! I thought you mean like in general. No, if you mean like after this review, no,
Oh yeah.
I definitely I do. I know what I need to do now, I think.
Yeah, I was wondering in after the review because like if you compare before the review and then after the review.
Yeah, I think it helps me a little bit because like as well as like having me look for my mistakes, like having you also just like notice some other things that I didn't even think about, like the going for the support early right there, like when Mercy was right on my side and I just didn't go for it. That didn't even cross my head, and now just thinking about it, it seems kind of silly that I didn't.
Yeah,
but yeah,
the way I saw it was I just think about efficiency per minute or per second or whatever unit you want to use. And then you start to just find all these small things everywhere. Obviously not that like instantly you don't see everything. I don't either. But soon enough you'll see like, oh, I can improve this and make this more efficient. And then you see a new thing like tomorrow or a few days later and so on. And just keep thinking like in terms of efficiency, and that will help you as well make use of EMP quicker and all that.
Do you think we have a little bit of time still to like maybe look at the fire really quickly?
Sure, we can look at the fire. We're actually 10 minutes overtime, but it's totally fine. Like I can also look off stream if you rather want that. Because I'm gonna be able to do a better job off stream. And
all right.
Yeah, I gave 30 minutes to everyone else, so I want to make it fair. And what I'm gonna do for next week is I'm probably gonna take less VODs and do longer sessions maybe, so that there's more time, because it felt like everyone had a bit too little time.
Yeah.
But would it be alright with you if I do off stream?
Yeah, sure. That
cool.
Sounds good.
Cool. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the VOD as well. Thank
you so much for helping me. I feel like this is going to be really good for me now.
No worries. Like, tell me how it goes. Like, tell me how it goes with Sombra. If it goes bad, tell me. Or like, you don't have to, but it's if it goes bad, I still want to know. If it goes well, I'm still gonna want to know. Like, I like seeing progress, and it's really fun.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much for the help. Goodbye. See you.
See ya. All right. So this was from Tifa2. Now we can take some stream questions. Sorry chat for not